The morning light filters through the curtains, soft and golden. You stir slowly in bed, not from laziness, but caution. You already know what's coming. That dull ache in your knees, the stiffness in your hands, the creaking in your hips. You sit up gently, like you're handling a fragile package, because some days, that's what your body feels like. You glance at your slippers across the room and wonder, why does it take so long just to get going now? You remember a time when you didn't have to think about bending, lifting, climbing stairs, or standing up from a chair. Back then, your joints were silent companions, not the constant reminders they've become. And lately, maybe you've seen it happening around you. A dear friend using a cane. Another stopped gardening. Someone else gave up their morning walks entirely. You start to wonder, what's next for me? Have you ever paused and asked yourself, how do I want to age? Not just survive, but truly live? To move through the years, not as a prisoner of pain, but as the author of your own freedom. What if something as simple as one warm, comforting cup of tea could help you reclaim a part of that freedom? Not a miracle, but a gentle shift, a quiet helper, a way back to the ease and dignity you deserve, because no matter your age, your body still listens, and healing is still possible. Aging is full of quiet adjustments. You might walk a little slower, rest a little longer, or think twice before bending down to pick something up. But perhaps the most frustrating change, the one that creeps in gradually and then seems to stay, is the discomfort in your joints. Your knees ache after a short stroll. Your fingers feel stiff when you're buttoning your shirt. That twinge in your hips when you get out of the car, it's not just annoying, it's limiting. Little by little, pain chips away at your confidence. The freedom to move becomes something you have to plan around or avoid altogether. And here's the truth most don't talk about. When your joints start to fail, your world can quietly shrink. You stop gardening, cancel walks, decline invitations. You feel isolated not just from people, but from the life you once loved. And that loss of mobility, it's more than physical. It reaches into your spirit, your independence, your sense of self. But it doesn't have to be this way. Because what you may not know is that your joints are still listening to you. They still respond to the choices you make each day. Even now, especially now, there are small, powerful actions that can slow the wear and even soothe the damage already done. And one of the gentlest, easiest, and most comforting of those actions is drinking the right kind of tea. Yes, tea. Not a complicated routine, not a shelf full of pills, just one warm, healing cup a day. A simple ritual with the power to reduce inflammation, nourish cartilage, and ease your joints back into life. This video is not about gimmicks or empty promises. It's about real, evidence-backed wisdom shared like an old friend sitting beside you. A journey toward ease and strength that begins, quietly, with one cup. So take a breath, settle in, and let's begin. You've been told for years that this is just part of getting older. That aching knees, stiff fingers, and hips that don't quite cooperate anymore are simply the price of time. That mobility fades and there's not much you can do about it. But what if that's not entirely true? What if your body is not just breaking down, but calling out? Whispering, not with words, but with discomfort. Asking for something it's quietly missing? Imagine this, a garden in late summer. The soil looks dry, the leaves are curled. Someone might say, it's just the end of the season. But you know better. You know that just one long, slow watering can bring things back to life. Not overnight, but steadily. Gently. Day by day. Your joints are not so different. What if the stiffness and pain you've accepted as just aging is actually your body pleading for something basic? Something it once had enough of, but now struggles to hold on to? You might be missing just one nutrient, one anti-inflammatory helper, one simple ritual that gives your joints the gentle support they need to keep you moving through life with grace. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't something you need to chase down in a pharmacy or spend a fortune on. It may already be in your kitchen cabinet or just one grocery trip away. A plant, a spice, a time-honored remedy passed down quietly through generations. One cup of tea, steeped not just in water, but in ancient wisdom and modern science. We're about to explore what's really going on in your joints, why they hurt, what they need, and how something as simple as sipping the right blend can support you, like an old friend offering a steadying hand. Because you deserve to feel at home in your body again. And your path back starts right here. Think of your body like a home, one you've lived in for decades. The floors might creak a little more, the walls may have some cracks, but with the right technique, it's still strong, still full of life and warmth. But like any home, it needs upkeep. And for your body, that begins with what you feed it. After 70, your nutritional needs change. Your body becomes more sensitive to the quality of what you consume and what you put into it. It either helps soothe the inflammation that causes joint pain or quietly fuels it. Have you ever noticed how certain meals leave you feeling stiff the next morning? Or how some days, with just a little more water and a lighter dinner, you move more freely? That's not a coincidence. That's your body talking. Many seniors unknowingly live with low levels of vital anti-inflammatory nutrients, like omega-3s, magnesium, or vitamin C. These aren't just nice-to-have vitamins. They are the materials your body uses to repair cartilage, reduce swelling, and keep your joints gliding smoothly. Let me tell you about Helen, a 74-year-old widow from Oregon. For years, she avoided long walks because of her aching knees. But after learning about joint-friendly foods and adding a daily tea rich in turmeric and ginger to her routine, something shifted. "I didn't expect a miracle," she said, "but I woke up one morning and realized my stairs weren't the enemy anymore." It wasn't magic. It was nourishment. Your body is still rebuilding every single day, but only if you give it the right tools. So ask yourself, have you ever had a stretch of days where you felt just a little better, and then it slipped away? Maybe the difference wasn't your age, it was your nutrition. And the good news? One warm healing cup can be the start of giving your body exactly what it needs. Your joints ache, your energy dips, and your mind feels just a little slower than it used to be. You might think, this is just aging. But what if the root of it isn't just in your knees but in your gut? It might sound surprising, but more and more research is pointing to something both simple and profound. Your gut health, yes, your digestion, is directly tied to inflammation in your body, especially in your joints. Inside your belly live trillions of bacteria. Some are friendly, helping you digest food, absorb nutrients, and regulate inflammation. Others, when out of balance, can trigger a quiet storm, fueling swelling, stiffness, even brain fog and fatigue. Have you ever felt bloated and tired after a heavy meal? Or noticed how your joints feel worse after processed foods or sugar? That's not your imagination. That's your gut trying to signal that something is off. Let me introduce you to Robert, a 76-year-old retired teacher from Arizona. He struggled with rheumatoid arthritis for over a decade. "I thought it was all downhill from here," he said. But after a nutritionist helped him shift his diet, adding more fermented foods, fiber, and anti-inflammatory herbs, his gut health improved. The surprise? His joint pain eased. "I never thought yogurt and tea would help my knees," he laughed. But they did. One of the gentlest ways to support your gut and your joints is with certain herbal teas. Ginger, turmeric, licorice root, and peppermint are more than just soothing flavors. They calm the gut lining, balance your microbiome, and help reduce inflammation at the source. Have you noticed how your body responds when you feel truly at peace? After a good meal, a quiet evening, or a warm cup of tea that settles your stomach and your soul? Your gut is not separate from your joints, your mind, or your mood. It's all connected. And when you nourish it, you begin healing not just pain, but the whole of you. Big changes aren't always possible or necessary. At this stage in life, it's not about chasing youth. It's about finding comfort, strength, and dignity in the body you live in now. And often, it's the smallest habits, the ones that feel gentle and natural, that carry the greatest power. Think about your mornings. Are they rushed, stiff, or slow to start? Or are they steady, calm, and yours? Just 5 quiet minutes in the morning, stretching your legs before you rise, sipping a warm herbal tea, rich in turmeric or ginger, breathing deeply at your window, can shape the rhythm of your whole day. That's not theory. It's lived truth for many seniors who have found peace and power in ritual. Consider Joan, 81, who lives alone in a cozy home surrounded by bird feeders and quiet trees. For years, she woke up groaning from hip pain. Now she begins her morning with a cup of turmeric cinnamon tea, a short chair stretch, and soft instrumental music. "It's my little ceremony," she says, "and I swear my hips thank me for it." What changed for her wasn't just physical, it was emotional. She began to own her mornings again. That sense of control brought relief and joy. You don't need to reinvent your life. You don't need expensive equipment or a special diet. You need one warm cup that soothes inflammation, one moment of stillness to breathe, one stretch that reminds your joints they're still alive and capable. Start small. Add an anti-inflammatory tea after dinner. Walk a few circles around your garden. Choose foods that love you back, like berries, leafy greens, and fatty fish. Not to be perfect, but to be kind to your future self. What's one small change you could try this week? Because every habit is a message to your body, and your body is still listening. Pain has a way of making you smaller, not just in what you do, but in how you feel inside. You start saying no more often. You skip walks. You stop gardening. You sit out moments you used to cherish. And somewhere along the way, it's not just your joints that stiffen. It's your spirit too. But there's something no one tells you enough. Healing is just as emotional as it is physical. Yes, a cup of tea can ease inflammation. But the ritual itself, the way you hold that cup warm in your hands, breathing in the scent, it does something else too. It slows you down. It makes space for reflection, for being, not just doing. In this season of life, purpose doesn't need to look like productivity. It might be growing tomatoes, reading stories to your grandchildren, praying quietly in the morning sun, or tending to the birds outside your window. What matters is that it means something to you. Consider Mr. Thompson, a retired postman who, after losing his wife, found himself withdrawing. The pain in his knees was real, but so was the loneliness. One day, a neighbor invited him to help plant a small herb garden for the community. At first, he said no, but eventually, he showed up, just for an hour. That hour turned into a friendship. That friendship led to him drinking fresh ginger tea he helped grow. "I didn't just feel better," he said. "I felt useful again." Pain didn't disappear, but life began to open up again. What do you want the next chapter of your life to feel like? Peaceful? Meaningful? Connected? Your body, your heart, your soul? They're all speaking the same language, and even one small act of self-care, like choosing a tea that nourishes you inside and out, can be the first word in a beautiful new sentence. You've made it to this moment, and that, in itself, is something to honor. You've walked with me through the quiet aches of aging, the deep-rooted pain in your joints, the slowing down that can feel so heavy. And you've stayed. You've listened. You've opened yourself to the possibility that change, real, meaningful, beautiful change, is still within reach. Because here's the truth. You are not too old. You are not done yet, and your body still listens when you care for it. Yes, the joints may creak. The mornings may come slower. But there is still energy inside you waiting to be stirred. There is still warmth to be found. In a single, healing cup of tea. In a morning routine that belongs only to you. In a small choice that says, I still matter. Imagine waking tomorrow and choosing just one thing differently. Maybe you steep a cup of ginger turmeric tea and hold it in both hands like a prayer. Maybe you sit by the window and let the morning light touch your face. Maybe you stretch, or breathe, or simply whisper to yourself, I am still here. You are. You are still here, still learning, still healing, still worthy of comfort, of strength, of joy. The path ahead may be slower, but that doesn't make it any less powerful. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward resilience, toward freedom in your body, peace in your spirit. So be proud. You've taken the time to care for yourself today? That means you're still fighting. Not just against illness or age, but for yourself, for your future. This is your time. Start now, even if it's slow. Every small step is still yours. And perhaps it all begins with a warm cup in your hands and a quiet promise to begin again. As you sit with what we've shared today, take a quiet moment to reflect. What was one thing that made you think differently today? Was it the idea that your joints are still capable of healing? Or perhaps the thought that a simple change in your daily routine could ease years of discomfort? Whatever it is, hold that thought close. It's a seed of possibility, a small shift in perspective that can grow into something powerful. So what small change will you try starting tomorrow morning? Maybe it's as simple as brewing a cup of healing tea and savoring it slowly. Or perhaps it's taking a few extra moments to breathe deeply before your day begins. It doesn't need to be grand, just meaningful. We are a community here. We're not just viewers or subscribers. We are people on this path of aging, learning, and growing together. You are not alone in this journey. If something today resonated with you, whether it was the reminder that your body is still listening, or the thought that even small steps make a difference, I invite you to share. Tell us your story in the comments. What small change are you excited to try? What's been your experience with joint health or with discovering new ways to care for yourself? And if you feel like you've gained something valuable from this video, whether it's hope, inspiration, or simply a gentle reminder to prioritize yourself, subscribe. Let's walk this path together. There's more wisdom to share, more strength to gain, and more joy to discover. This channel is a place where we can lift each other up, share our stories, and continue to grow. Together, we're writing the next chapter of our health and our lives. Thank you for being part of this community. We're with you every step of the way.